Let's dive in. I know we try to get these started right at 12 o'clock. We're very sensitive to time. So let's get to work. Today, what we're going to be discussing is how do you use social media authentically and collaborate that with paid advertising strategies in order to build out a tribe, a followership, and generate more revenue for your business. And I want to talk pretty high level. And I know, Mitch, you're going to bring up a document for us here. Let me stop sharing on my computer. It looks like I am already. If you'll bring that up, we'll get started.
It looks like I need to be made a presenter.
Yep. Okay, you're a presenter now.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk some theory before we get into the details. I want to show you what we're doing and how we're doing it. We're doing some pretty cool things with our business right now. There's been some really unique advancements in the world of social media over the course of the last 6 months. And I want to share with you really the approach we're taking, why we're doing what we're doing, and how we're really bringing that to light. Now, Mitch, I don't see your screen for some reason. Am I? Oh, I'm in the backstage. That's why. There we go. Perfect. Oh, you can even see me live. Hi, everybody. Didn't realize that I was live. Turn my camera off. Okay. We have... First and foremost, as we all know, one of the number one things that we need to identify and figure out is how do we day trade for the attention of the people we're trying to get in front of. Now, whether we own a traditional business, whether we own a large business, large traditional, medium, or small, whether we own a home-based business, or even in some cases you own an online business, maybe you're running affiliate marketing or an Amazon business, Shopify, ship and fulfilling through ShipStation. I want to walk you through a dialogue and a group strategy that we're actually executing right now with our clientele base to teach you really our flow process and how we can most effectively utilize advertising for our business. This is the one we're working with right now. Now, one of the things that you'll notice when it comes to social media, and please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments you'd like to throw in here, please don't hesitate. If you'd like to jump in and talk with us while we're going through this, also don't hesitate, because we'd love to have a dialogue. Seems like every time we open up the chat line and ask questions and create dialogue, there's a lot more value that's provided long term. But Brad, Mitch, and I wanted to walk you through our group strategy. One thing we've been struggling with, and not necessarily struggle, but we've been interested in, is how do you effectively and authentically build a tribe on Facebook. Now, because of the limitation in organic reach, we know that static image posts in a lot of cases get less engagement than a Facebook Live event. However, there's so many people out there that just really struggle with Facebook Live. How do we execute with Facebook Live? What do we say and why do we say it? And so what we want to walk you through is really our process and how we're doing this. So if you're a business, you're running a business and you want to create that initial element of the sales funnel. Let me see if I can bring up another doc here while we're talking through this. But another element of the sales funnel is creating initial awareness of those consumers that are part of your sphere of influence. A few weeks back, we talked about the temperature of your audience. We talked about who is your target demographic and how do you best meet the needs of the target demo. And as a part of that, you obviously need to understand where they are in the sales funnel process. Are they in the awareness section? Are they considering or needing more education from you on what your product, service, or offering is? Are they in more in depth? They've done some due diligence on you and what you're doing, and they're in a place where they really want to start to engage with you. So where are they in the business process, and how do we best and most effectively connect with them? I'm going to open up a presentation here. Hopefully this is the right one. But I want to show you that process of the sales funnel. Now, let me break down this group strategy by saying the first element of this group strategy is creating awareness. Now, as a business owner, the number one thing, in my opinion, that businesses have to do today is they have to create awareness among those potential people that are going to buy a product or a service or an offering from the company. And traditional marketing has always been a great way of creating awareness. Social media marketing now is giving a new platform or a new way of reaching people where they are versus throwing something, out in the open or potentially getting a response from what's happening. So huge difference, because now you're positioning information where they are on their Facebook Live or in their Facebook feeds. So we're using a strategy where we build the initial element of our strategy using Facebook Lives. Now, let's talk through that, Brad. You and Mitch and I many times have talked about what is the context of our Facebook Lives and how do we best use that? Why don't you talk here for just a quick minute about the value and the power of live video?
Yeah, so it looked like Brad got kicked off, but so I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead, Mitch.
As far as Facebook Lives, I just want to add in as well. I was at a Facebook event where Facebook Corporate was speaking and telling you how you should use Facebook to grow your business. And one of the number one things they talked about is using Facebook Live. So if for nothing else, then that's why it's a good reason to do it, because Facebook wants you to do it. And so they're going to support you in doing that. And to answer your question more specifically, Ryan, as far as the content that we've noticed that is most successful, it's more just education based. You don't go on and make a sales pitch every day on Facebook Live saying, this is why my business is the best. This is why you need to use my product. This is why, whatever, this is why you need to come to my store. You don't do that every single day because, again, that's just a revolving billboard, and that's not the purpose for social media. It's about giving good content. It's about giving people behind the scenes, giving people, the stuff they don't normally get to see about your business, and show that you're real human beings that just like to talk with other people and help serve other people. And the way you're serving them is through your product or service.
That's exactly right. So powerful video, like Mitch said, Facebook Live is one of the best ways of doing it now. And I recognize many of you may be a little bit concerned or nervous about it, but it's really about getting out there and getting exposure. So the second step then in this process is, what is the content that I would share? Depends on your business, but you have to reverse engineer the content that you would share in the context of your Facebook Live event. So let's say, for instance, you analyze, like we talked before, about your target demographic. Let's say I have the 35 to the 55-year-old active lifestyle individual that really wants to do something fun in their life. And I know, let me see, Cassidy, are you on here with us today? Let me check. Yep, Cassidy. So we're going to pick on you a little bit again, just because we love the concept of where you're going with your business. But let's just say, for instance, what's on the mind of the people specifically between that 35 and the 55-year-old age demo? What are they thinking about? The weekend's coming up. You're getting ready to do a Facebook Live event. What would we share? Well, there's two schools of thought, right? And just to give proper context, Cassidy is part of a pretty incredible organization called Pedigo. And that organization has these electric bikes that are all about fun and activity and so on and so forth. So if we're talking about that business specifically, we can take any business here, but that one specifically, the cool thing that you could do is you could say, listen, instead of saying, hey, come down and see us and use some of our equipment or buy a bike from us this weekend, you could reverse engineer it and say, what are the top 5 things that you could be doing this week in San Diego, or the top 5 things you could be doing in Park City, Utah, or the top 5 things you could be doing in the city, and give content, give value-based content. Say, here's number 1, here's number 2, 3, 4, and 5. And by the way, if you're not going to go do any of those, we'd love to have you come out and join us and rent one of our facilities. So it's a very give-based strategy. And then in that concept, say, drop me a comment below of what you're going to be doing this weekend. And that's where you can tie this in with our ManyChat strategy that we talked about last week, where you could say, hey, what are you guys up to this weekend? Are you thinking about doing this, or this? And then you create that authentic connection with the person through your business page, to where now you're really diving in deep with them. Because once they receive a message from you, now, even if it's an automated message, now they know that you care. So that's where the ManyChat strategy comes in. And for us, instead of going to, come land on our landing page and come purchase something from us directly, we're taking a reverse engineered approach to build out our audience and provide even more value. So there's a value give on the front end with our Facebook Live event. There's even more value that's provided in the context of our ManyChat message. And then from there, we're going into a group where we're providing additional value. So again, reverse engineering the process. What are those people that are renting or buying a piece of equipment from you? What's on their mind? Yeah, of course they want to have fun. Of course they want to do something great and exciting. But what are the other things that you could provide to build value? Maybe it is a matter of, here are the top 15 things that you ought to consider when it comes to building or you ought to consider in the city that they're in, the top 15 fun things that you could do, or here's some discounts that are happening in this area of the city, and become almost the mayor, if you will, of the city that you're living in, and provide additional content, because now you're creating an environment where people really want to pay attention and engage. If you go the reverse engineered approach where you're just pitching your business consistently, then it makes it that much more difficult in the process. So really, really cool from that approach. And then give value, create some themes and some ideas inside of that group where you can engage people and have them comment and share and like what you're doing. So that's what we've done in our strategy. And we'll dive into this a little bit more, and we'll open up for asking questions. But let me just give you some additional context here. The next step then for us is we're driving them to another free webinar. So it's give, right? Give. And we're opening up this webinar for people to come and learn from us. Now, as they register for the webinar, there's an email drip campaign sequence where people get a chance to really get to know us in more detail, get the inner workings of our business, and the invitation to get to know us even more. And then from there, there's just a soft call to action to schedule a free consultation. For those of you out there that are looking to figure out the best strategies for your business, we'd love to connect with you and maybe give you a quick free consultation, a 15 to 20 minute consultation, and see what you need and how we can best help you. We're in the process of building the backside of this, but we're going right directly into a questionnaire page where you can rate the experience that you've had with us in these first 5 or 6 steps in our funnel. And then we even make another invitation to say, hey, schedule a time. We'd love to connect with you. And then that's when we get on the phone and have that dialogue. So, and then we can, then there's things you can do after that, depending on what your product or service is. But this element really builds a give, and then potentially ask on the back end strategy, where we live in a world that's all about taking first. Now, let me see if I have... Mitch, any insights while I'm pulling up this other document here?
I was just going to say, as far as the group, a common question might be, okay, why a group instead of just providing that value on the page? The thing about that is that groups, if people will get notifications more often when you post. I get notifications all the time, like, oh, this person posted in this group. And so I'll often go look in that group, and it's a piece of value, and then I can either respond to that and tag other people that I know that are in the group and say, wow, you got to look at this. Or I just comment, or if it's a question, then I'm able to answer that question. So groups are just made to create more engagement and more involvement than just a Facebook page on the organic side.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point, Mitch, that we didn't talk about. When you're talking about organic posts on Facebook in general, one thing you have to pay close attention to is those posts on a business page typically only get 1 to 4% reach. If you do a very similar post inside of a group, it's about 80 to 90% of those people get a little red notification that happens up in the top right corner of their Facebook page that you're on, that you're live, and that you're teaching and educating about that. Great point. Brad, are you back with us? Mitch,
I thought he was.
I can see him on here, but I guess I can't see him. I can't hear him. So, okay. Well, let's talk. So let's talk. How do we correlate the paid strategy associated with this? Because organic reach is so simplified in nature, and they've decreased the amount of growth that you could capitalize from it. How do we expand from a paid perspective? And this is where it gets really fun, because inside of those Facebook Live, once you run a Facebook Live event on your page, now you can boost that post to expose it to that many more people. And especially if the content is really good, you're going to capture more attention. And that attention is only going to drive more revenue for you and for your business in a roundabout way. Now, again, we always talk about being patient in the process. And this is, see here, we have 5 steps that are very give-based, even 6 steps that are very give-based before we ever even ask. You've got the regular Facebook Live event. We boost that Facebook Live event, capture some information. We associate that with a ManyChat. So if somebody leaves a comment or clicks on and sends us a message, then all of a sudden that's going to go in and ask questions to help them lead into our group where everybody's at. And then inside of that group, now we're going from the group into these Friday webinars, free Friday webinars. And then we send another email that really tells more about our story. Because recognize we're taking people from a cold market that may not even know who we are, but may recognize our face, or maybe they don't even recognize our face. The content's just that good that they engage. And now they've gone from engagement, paid engagement, right? Because we're paying to expose ourselves, into the ManyChat system, into that group where we're providing a ton more value and information, where we as a group are collectively providing lots of information. And then from there, going there to the register for the Friday webinar to the email sequence to a soft call to action. You can do the exact same thing with your business, and it doesn't matter what vertical you're playing in. You just have to create that strategy that can most effectively build value and build brand equity in really what you're doing. Does that make sense, guys? Listen, if you have any questions, raise your hand, send a chat. We're happy to open that up. Brad or Mitch, anything you want to add to that part of it?
I did have something I wanted to add. As far as boosting the Facebook Live, what we've been able to see a lot with an established Facebook page is we can basically double the efforts of our money. So if we get 5,000 in paid reach, just because we are paying for it, then we also get more organic reach that we aren't paying for. And oftentimes we've seen that organic reach to be another 4,000 to 5,000. So that's again the reason to do Facebook Lives is because you can make the money you spend on an ad go much, much farther than if you were to do just an image-based ad or just even just a regular video. Then
Mitch, because you run a lot of our ads in general for not only ourselves but a lot of our clients, give us kind of a broad range of what you're seeing with the Facebook Live when it comes to reach, as compared to like a static image ad when it comes to reach in an awareness campaign.
Yeah, so the best way to compare is because it's all going to be, total reach is always going to depend on how much money that you spend. The more money you spend, the more reach you're going to get, unless you have a really bad ad. But typically, so with an image-based ad, then we'll be able to look at, okay, we got this much paid reach and this much organic reach.
What if we make, just for context, Mitch, because a lot of people are in the kind of the starting phases of their business. Let's just take a $100 budget. Give us some insights on what you would think you could result from on a $100 budget in a static image ad versus a Facebook video or a Facebook Live video.
Yeah, so $100, then you might be able to get in front of 15 to 20,000 people
through a Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook Live, you're going to be on the higher end of that. An image-based ad, then depending on how engaging it is, you're going to get no additional organic reach. So you're going to have to pay for every piece of reach. So let's say it's 15,000. Now with your Facebook Live, if it's a good engaging Facebook Live, then you'll get that same, we'll go to the higher end, 20,000 of paid reach, but you'll get an additional 10 to 20,000 of organic reach.
That's
although
right.
You paid for much of it.
And we usually kind of as a baseline metric for our company, for Strategic Social, when we're talking with our clients, just to be super conservative, Mitch has looked at these numbers and I've looked at a lot of the numbers as well, but we kind of give a conservative number of, from a reach perspective in an awareness campaign, you can typically get in front of about 10,000 people for every $100 you spend in ads from a Facebook Live perspective, and then about 7,500 on an image ad. So you can see really the numbers we're actually yielding, but we always kind of scale that back just to set proper expectation for you. So if you do a video and you boost it on $100 and you get 10,000, you don't feel bad like, well, I did something wrong. But like Mitch said, it really depends on how much time and energy you've put in growing your own like base on your business page. And I'm not saying paying for likes, but growing your like base in general. So any questions about that so far, guys?
I was going to add one more thing while people are typing questions, that the other thing that we've noticed is we've run promotions of the same messaging. One was a Facebook Live, one was an image. And the Facebook Live got I don't know how many times more link clicks, meaning people taking the actual action that we wanted them to. People were just clicking more and going to our landing page more, or going to the event more, or whatever it was. You just get more results with a Facebook Live almost every time.
That's right. That's awesome. Great insights, Mitch. Okay, so we're going to open it up for questions now. Let's see if you guys have any questions. If not, there's one last quick thing that I want to talk to you about, because you can correlate this with email marketing and everything else. There's so much to this funnel in and of itself. But what questions do you have? Anything you want to chat in and ask? Is this too way over your head from a complexity perspective? Let us know. We'll wait here for just a minute. James, that's a great question. We found, interesting enough, Mitch, why don't you share the statistics that you just got back from Facebook the other day?
Yeah, so Facebook themselves said they like to see you running an Facebook Live for more than 10 minutes. And the reason for that is because when you Facebook, when you go live, then it notifies all of your contacts that you are going live. But they don't do it all at once. You don't start your live and within the first 30 seconds, they've let all of your audience know. They kind of break it up over time. In addition, then, although a lot of us are attached to our phone and see the notification right away, there's also a lot of people that don't see the notification right away. So let's say they get the notification at minute 1 of your Facebook Live, but they don't see the notification until minute 5. Now they still have time to jump on and catch the end of your Facebook Live. You will have to consider when you're running it as an ad also is if you have content for 10 minutes. I mean, don't try to stretch something out for 10 minutes if you just don't have 10 minutes of interesting content. You're better off keeping it shorter if you just don't have the content to fill it.
Great question, James. Tammy, it's okay. There is a lot to this. I'm sorry if we went a little bit too in depth. Cassidy, we don't see the question. Maybe you can give us some more detail.
Did Cassidy maybe not see James's question?
Oh, okay. The questions other people are asking. Okay. Yeah, it's just right here. Can you guys see the chat? Oh, it says the chat is private, Mitch.
Maybe that's why. Why is the chat private? That's weird.
Let's check the settings here. Hold on. I see. Good catch, Cassidy. Let's see if I can go in and change that to chat the messaging on this.
Well, he's changing that, if we can get it changed. That's never been like that in the other weeks. The question that we answered from James was, how long is the best length for a Facebook Live video that you're planning on running as an ad? That's where I said Facebook themselves says 10 minutes. Any other questions? We'll just, until the chat is public, then we'll have to just read the questions so that everybody can hear them.
I'm not quite sure why it's. I think Brad established this, so yeah. So the question was, can you share this flow process with us? I think actually, Mitch, in the handouts, you can click to upload that handout. So if you want to just download that, Mitch, let's upload it right here in the group, and then they can take and play with that flow as much as they want. That's kind of our funnel. Blame it on me. Brad, maybe you have a better insights of how to make the chat not private. Right now it's still private. So love your insights, man. Brad's kind of our go-to with all things technology.
I'm just going to share this whole document. So there's 5 slides or 6 slides.
There's 6 potential different strategies that you can utilize, but you can take and run with whatever one you want. But yeah, we're happy to share this with you. So Mitch, if you'll just download that, I think you should go file the download and then you can upload it into here.
Yeah. And this is specific for our business. But you'll be able to just change the boxes for your business and, reach out to us and ask questions about a specific step.
Yep. But we are here, like we said, every Friday from 12 to 12:30 Mountain Time. So wherever you are, you might be on the East Coast, you might be Central, you might be Pacific. We're glad that you join us. We'll make sure that next time we have these chats open. Okay, Brad got kicked out for some reason in the middle of the presentation, so he came back in as a member versus as a admin because he didn't want to kick the rest of you out. So anyway, thanks for being with us, guys. I hope you found some value. One last quick thing, I'll just want to show you. We do have our business page on Facebook. And if you want to be part of the group that we've created, it's called Social Entrepreneurs Academy. We provide content through there at least 5 days a week. You're welcome to. I'm going to put the link in here, and you can go through this funnel. If you want to go through this funnel yourself and see how it actually works, it's actually really, really cool. So let me open up my business page. I'm going to copy and paste it into the, oh, you guys can't see the chat window. Well, that's not going to help. So if you go to facebook.com/strategic social partners, facebook.com/strategic social partners. And if you just go to send message and you type in join the group and hit enter, it will walk you through our bot system so you can see how that works. And then it'll introduce you into our Facebook group, which is called Social Entrepreneurs Academy. We'd love to have you join us. And yeah, we'll be back again with you guys next week. Thanks for being on with us.